only I could
Oh, we're
find...
live now. Hi.
Yeah, I see. It was almost as though I communicated that.
Yes, no, you did. You did. I
Thanks,
got it.
Dimitri. It's
I
been a
got
hot minute too since we did this. It's like
it. It's been
we
since
haven't
New
really...
Year's.
Yeah, it hasn't... It's fine. We got this.
I'm just opening up the chat. Hi, Dimitri.
Oh, Tasha's not first.
Oh.
Oh shit. Wish I knew how this window worked. Cool. With your sad ass face, Tasha. You can just delete his comment.
Oh, the commitment to being first.
Yes. So Corbett should be here eventually. Because I informed her that this is largely to like spam her with all the shit that she missed. Because she doesn't believe that she was missed while she was there.
She was so missed.
Wasn't there. I know, right?
And so was Fallon and Viola.
I know. I was gonna say Fallon and Dom and everybody and fucking Casey and Dimitri. It was crazy because like there were so like, even with the relatively few of us that were there, it was like you still couldn't fit everybody in the same space.
Mm-hmm.
Like could not get them into a restaurant or a room. It was insane.
We were just such a giant roving band of a-holes.
It was amazing.
We were like the Katamari ball, you know what I mean?
Yes, and you just like just
gathering everyone as you
people
went.
and just like glom them on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I was telling somebody earlier, Jad Steele, who was somebody that I believe I met during Hurricane Harvey, worked their fucking ass off. I was telling them, they were like, I don't know them. You know, it was really cool to see so many people there, but I don't know that I'll ever get to one of these. And I was like, well, buddy, there's no fucking rush because none of us are going anywhere and we just keep getting bigger. Like, you could literally have your own con just of the people that were there and excited to see each other before anyone gave half a thought to actors.
I almost felt bad because I went to almost no panels because we were just in the hallway talking to each other.
Real busy hanging out.
The con was basically secondary to us just being all under one roof.
It was. I had said that earlier. Like, yeah, I was talking to Jason and I had been a dick to Jason previously over the whole, maybe not a dick. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that because like, you don't enjoy somebody's work and you appreciate them. And I love the man. I think he's funny, but like, it doesn't mean we agree all the time. And we'd gotten rather severely at odds over the Travis thing. Like, does anybody have a responsibility to say anything? Like, does anyone, you know, we talked about that, but I'd gone up to him and I'd be like, hey man, sorry I was a dick. And I mean, if he could say nothing else for the man, he's certainly always gracious. And he was like, oh, you know, don't worry about it, it's fine, how are you enjoying the con? And I'm like, oh, there's just so many good people here. And I'm like marveling at this, and he's like, yeah, it's the biggest one of the year, you know, it's 4 days, it's an all-star cast. And I'm like, what? Oh, actors, yes. Right. I too meant that.
Oh, you didn't correct him? I would have been like, no, I mean us.
I didn't. I was just like, what? What? Yes. So, yes, all of those.
Yeah, that thing you just said. Yeah, totally.
Fucking Colonel Sanders. I don't give a shit.
Okay. I do want to say I don't like the character of Asmodeus, but he was so cool. He was a good dude. He was nice.
I haven't seen any of his episodes because I watched Community and I felt that really sort of met my fill for pop culture reference evil Colonel Sanders. So I thought like I was covered on that. But I will say this man was living his fucking best life. He comes out in like a vest and he has this fancy ass hat on and he's just like leaning into the crowd like, yes, love me. And people are like, okay. And they just like yell enthusiastically. They fucking
he embraced it. He was so into it. He brought his own little drum to karaoke and it was so cute. It was precious. I was like, I like him so much, despite myself. I didn't have a problem with him as a person at all. I was just like not into the character, which is fine.
Yeah, and who gives a shit about that? None of us care about, like,
but him as a person, he was lovely. And
he can play stunt demon number 3 if you pat us on the head and laugh when we make dumb jokes. You're all in.
And when I went up for karaoke, he reached out for a high five, and I was like, I'm really sorry. My hand is so sweaty. He's like, it's fine. So that was my one interaction with him. Is we shared a very sweaty high five. And then he played his bongo drum while we sang to the Spice Girls, and I was like, I love him. He was so into it. Like he was participating.
The only time I saw him was during SNS, and he was just like in his like hipster suit, like full on head to toe gear, and he's like leaning over, like just making this enthusiastic gesture, and people are like, okay, and they screamed back, and it was like, this man is having a good time.
He was so endearing.
Corbet's here.
Corbett.
Hey.
Corbett, are you ready to be yelled at about all the things that you... No. She's going to endure us.
No, sorry. I'm trying to use... Never mind. Technology. It's awful. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
But you got the... I fucking love you. You got the speakers to work?
No.
No. But audio works?
No, it's my phone. So
Corbett versus technology is a lot. She hates it a lot. It's, if you prompt her to narrate it, you will laugh, and probably she won't love it, but you will, because it's real funny. But it's like Corbett versus Parades. It's antagonistic. Nobody's happy unless you're the observer. But you're here, and everybody fucking missed you so much at this con. So now you have to deal with approximately 1 hour till Pineapple has to go adult of hearing all the fucking shit.
Okay.
And I think we have Tasha on first.
Oh.
Yes.
I probably need to get a link for her.
Yeah.
I have to remember how to do that.
That's cool. I'm gonna send it to you.
I think you're the only one who can do that because you're hosting.
I literally, you know what? I'm not even here. It's the same one. I pasted it to you. Let me just send it to Tasha.
Just send it to Tasha. Yeah. And we are gonna have Fran on later, who's the sweetest little thing. I love her.
Bean.
The smallest bean. And possibly Julia, if she makes it home in time.
Corbett, the chat's talking to you. You can't see it. So
I can't see anything.
It's okay. I'm gonna screen cap.
Just to recap, I shut my laptop in a folding couch. Around
that was a Christmas.
I know, right? So I'm trying to set this up, and I've got my laptop hooked to an external monitor. But I was like, I can't make that work because the camera in the laptop still works, but I can't see the screen, I wouldn't be looking at you guys. So I set up the phone, had to download an app, and it was just,
had to download
an app. That is
I'm glad you were there for that, Pineapple. See, you have to download a whole app and use it. Our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Thoughts or prayers, yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
I support you in this difficult time.
Yeah, here for you.
No.
Your hair, your hair looks fabulous, by the way. I like the hair.
Doesn't it look amazing? Look, did we give Dom a wrench? Because she just muted you, Pineapple.
What?
Pineapple.
You can't mute me.
She did. Co-host. In the chat, she timed you out for 300 seconds.
Damn it!
Who the fuck gave Dom a wrench? Was it me? I bet it was.
You're the only one who can.
Compelling. Alright, where the fuck is Tasha? I sent her the link. I know she clicked on it because read receipt.
She yelled, I'm awake, so...
Oh, good.
13 minutes ago.
How are you guys recovering?
Barely. Well, for me with vodka, so very successfully. Only like 2 shots of vodka, because astonishingly, you would think like the previous years that I was at Vegas, it's like we are gonna get drunk all of the time. But I was busy seeing friends, and also it was a fucking 3/4 of a mile of commute one way, the other to the like there was no drinking, barely any smoking, like well, maybe a little drinking, but like you really had to meet it. You had to like time that shit. So I was very well behaved during Vegas, and I was fed 2 shots of vodka today, so I am dealing wonderfully. Thank you.
Getting alcohol was just too much.
It was too much
time.
work.
So we go.
God, that was like fucking 40 minutes. We already bored Tasha. She left.
The fuck was I going to say? The first thing Julia and I got there first because we were doing the bus tour, and the first thing we did was locate a dispensary and walk there.
What's a dispensary?
For
it's a fancy Canadian word.
Does that mean like a booze shop?
What the
Tasha?
No, the other thing.
Oh, like a pharmacy.
No, weed.
Oh.
What do you guys call it?
We call it a weed shop.
Okay.
We call it a guy I know.
We don't we don't call it a weed shop. I don't call it anything because I'm a jackass and I'm too much of a child.
See, Tasha knows. I'm not insane. This isn't a Canadian thing.
Cohen how to buy weed. I don't know.
This one's going on private. The local bud tender at the dispensary.
Your local bud tender.
Local bud tender.
I'm from Washington. I'm supposed to know these things.
Tasha, tell us about VegaaaasCon.
What part? It was so good.
All of it. Well, we're yelling at Corbett because she was gone and not there and very much missed.
Can you just
things you would be inclined to yell at Corbett?
Can you corroborate, Tasha? Can you corroborate that we were talking about how much we miss Corbett?
So
I'm sure you
suck it.
It's fine,
like,
guys.
You think you're gonna stop us? You're not gonna.
So much.
We went to the same restaurant that we had all had dinner at, and I was like, I'm fine. This is fine.
It wasn't fine.
It wasn't fine. It wasn't fine.
There was so much rum in the karaoke line that, there was some left for you.
I was not aware.
No, Tasha, you left no rum for anyone. No. You drank everything.
Oh, but God, y'all look so fucking
worth it, though, right?
Tasha was living her.
How did that concept come about? I want to hear.
Yeah, I want to fucking know.
Cartoons, and tunes. Gem and the Holograms. I mean, that is the perfect fucking thing.
I secretly don't know.
Do you not know?
I was so happy that so many people did know, though.
Yeah. It's a cartoon from the 80s with like a glam rock girl band.
And then their competing band is called the Misfits.
Yeah, I was the chick from the Misfits.
It was awesome.
Right. I didn't realize you had personas.
I don't really
aesthetic.
We sort of just vaguely did it because.
Yeah, no, I wasn't that cool in the 80s. That's not what I was watching. I was watching like Pound Puppies and Strawberry
I'm like a little. I'm like a little too young for it, but I remember watching reruns of it and shit. So I knew what it was.
I remember watching the movie that got remade.
Do people in the chat know what the fuck Gem and the Hologram is/was? Because I didn't, which is not a surprise to anyone. But I was like, they all have wigs. It's very exciting. And
my tutu left sparkles all over the floor of the
every place in the entire fucking Rio. There's still sparkles in my hair. And
I'm not sorry at all. There's like glitter left on the stage. It was amazing.
There was just a pile of glitter near the front of the stage where we were standing at karaoke there the whole weekend. It was great.
Okay, so have they gotten rid of the trees?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Did I not tell you guys about this? Oh God, no. we should have had Cam on here. Okay, so there's like a whole thing here. I think it was karaoke where Tasha's friend, who's very lovely, definitely handed me like 3 or 4 shots of rum, and I definitely yelled at Schmelke after that, and I don't remember about what, but
he deserved it, I'm sure.
He absolutely did. He made up for it. But
remind me to tell you what happened with me.
Yeah,
I'm good. You guys are gonna make me start a list. Okay.
He went to hug me, and
now I forgot what I was
recoiled.
telling you. Oh, okay. So the trees. Oh my god. Okay.
Yes.
So I don't, because I'm awful, and surely they're not watching this, so nobody will notice.
God, please no.
But no. There's the two people that work for Creation that aren't shitbags, which I super like. They're good friends of Lynn. There's one is Kristen and one is Jen. Like, they're always really sweet when I was doing the stage at Step with them. They're never assholes to people. They're just like they're this pair of sisters, and they're just like real sweet, and they're always just like bopping around doing their thing. And one of them runs sound. I think it was Liz, who was at the either Swain or Station Break show. Whichever one.
Yeah, no, she's like a stage manager, right?
Yes.
Stage manager Liz.
Whatever Bree and Fergus were at. So it was I was the Station Breaks because Bree was in town for the album. There was this whole like hour after they'd gone off stage, and we're all just like shooting the shit, pretending not to be like casually scoping out cafes in the hotel cafe, which we super weren't, just hanging out, but also maybe a little. But we had asked her, so me and Kim standing there, because who else is going to be, have some vested fucking interest in this? Where the shit did the trees go? And she's like, well, the trees are in Hawaii. And we were like, you mean like permanently and like all of them? And she's like,
no,
yeah.
like they've released them. They've set them free.
They released them into the wild.
Bless her heart, she tried to comfort us. She was like, now they can grow.
They
can become green
like
again.
Telling you that the dog has gone to live on a farm.
No, it absolutely happened that way, because she immediately understood that like we had an emotional investment in this, and she tried to be comforting.
Okay, right. And then they brought us flamingos.
Okay, but the thing is, here's the thing though. She brought the flamingos. She personally, in her yard, had some motherfucking flamingos. And we're like, you just have these? And she's like, yeah, I take pictures of them in my yard. And sure enough, she's got these like moody, focused foreground, blurry background, like atmospheric shots of these fucking flamingos. And she's like, the trees were gone. We didn't bring them back. And I thought maybe we could have these for Jax. And we were like, well, what's going to happen? Because we can't just form an emotional attachment to these three fucking flamingos.
And we will.
We don't, exactly. If we don't know they're going to keep on being there.
Already be.
There's like a blow-up couch and a green cooler now, though.
We're still upset about
the green cooler.
Disappearance.
The green cooler has already been merchandised. That can eat me. But like, Doris, God. The abuse that Doris has been put through. But these fucking flamingos, anyway. So this is a couple of weeks ago. So clearly there have been constants, Jax. And we were like, listen, we're not ready to accept that you literally left all of the trees in Hawaii. And we know they're not going to grow because they're dead. But we're willing to take it for the purposes of this conversation. However, if you're going to bring these flamingos on board, because she personally brought that shit. And I guess now it gets packed with whatever empty forlorn space those trees used to go in freight. We were like, are these going to be at subsequent cons? She's like, I don't know. And we were like, but you can't just not know.
You can't just.
You have to commit. They'll get like names or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happens?
Once you name it,
I'm still
we should name the flamingos.
I still can't even like say in an outright way the dead trees are gone and like emotionally accept it. That's literally years. That's years of like
material.
Yeah. But
I wonder if Rich is upset about it.
Someone in Hawaii, I'm like, I want to like contact fans in Hawaii. Like, have you seen these?
Have you put missing posters out?
Yeah, like what's gonna happen to them? But no, so that's what happens.
Potted plants.
Spanish moss.
Like,
fuck. What did happen to Spanish moss? It's probably there too. I'm gonna have to email her.
Sure.
I need to know. But that is what happened to the dead trees. And I don't feel good about it. And now there's these tenuous flamingos.
Well, I mean, they're in Hawaii. There are worse ways to go.
Look, I'm not ready.
Tasha.
Sorry.
So I just want to say on the topic of creation employees, I thought everyone.
Wait, you had enough of our tree morning?
No, I just wanted to say that all the creation staff that I interacted with at this con were really fucking nice. They were really, really nice.
Yeah.
Maybe not for you.
No. That sounded like sarcastic agreement. No, hold on. I'm gonna let you finish.
There was one woman at the mic stand most of the weekend who was just super, super sweet, and she was really into Jason's panel, and she was like,
what does really into look like?
Dancing.
She's laughing her face off.
He was screening the questions. I was surprised they were screening for Jason, but I told her my question. She's like, "Oh, I want to know that too." And then when they were doing "Gone," the Station Break song, she was leading everyone with the countdown with the hands. She was like,
"Bop it."
She was so excited. She was adorable, and she was
just bop. My new goal in life is to trick Pineapple into doing impressions.
No,
she's got to do the southern one. Robbie Thompson said so.
Yeah,
he should do it. Robbie Thompson asked you to do it.
Yeah, I read the tweet out loud. I was like, he's telling me to yell at you in a Tennessee accent to get a haircut.
It doesn't even have to be Tennessee. If you just aim for South.
I was like, I'm not doing the accent. I don't need to embarrass myself, him, and everyone on this bus by attempting that.
Sure. I responded immediately with but she's Canadian.
This is ever since I honked like a boat. You just think you can get me to
Boats
do weird.
Don't honk. The fuck kind of boat is that?
They make the honk sound.
That's not what boats do.
You act like that didn't happen.
A tugboat honks.
No.
There were boats at Torcon, and they honked. They made I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again.
That's a fun game.
Anyway, all the creation staff were really nice. And I appreciated that because sometimes there are some that are not. And that was my point.
I heard that
No, wait, we were supposed to remind Pineapple about something. You're supposed to
I immediately forgot.
Recoiling.
Oh, at the end of the con, which was, by the way, day 5 for me. At the end of day 5, Chris came out of the op room and then he went to hug me, but he was he reminds me of a praying mantis and it scares me.
Okay, this is what happened.
I need to own up to this though. Because
yes!
Pineapple walks out. She goes, I need to go get my JPEGs, but I'm afraid of Chris. Will someone come with me? And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, I've already.
How can you be afraid of Chris?
When we go.
No, he's very tall. You never know what he's going to do.
He's tall to me. He's tall in a comforting way. Finally,
he's
someone
really quiet. He just kind of pops up places.
Pineapple is depending on Tasha to protect her. Tasha did the opposite of this.
She sure did.
Rightfully so.
Tasha did this the entire weekend, and no one has caught on yet that if you ask Tasha to protect you, she will gleefully do the scout thing and throw you right the fuck under the bus and clap when you land.
Also on Thursday morning, I had a photo up with Rich, and
oh no, we're not done here. This is what happened.
No, but I'm still talking about Chris.
But can I demonstrate exactly how this went?
Yeah.
Oh, I can. Good. So we were getting ready to leave. I had come by the opera room because it's directly opposite of the auditorium, and I saw Pineapple in there, and Tasha, and I think somebody else. And Chris is busy and she's turning her shit in and we're all about to leave and kind of side-eyeing will we get to say goodbye to Dad? But maybe not. Cool with it either way. We're about to dip. And he comes over oh hey, and he's like, hey Lou, and he gives me a hug. He goes, hey princess, and he gives Tasha a hug. It happens. We don't ever stop giving her shit for that. And he turns to Pineapple and he goes to hug her and she goes and we all look at her like, Pineapple, what are you doing? And she goes, you're scary.
He went, what is wrong with this one?
Sure did. I had no answer. Tasha, it was very
fine.
visible.
It got weirder. He made weird noises at me while just tapping my head and stuff.
He was patting your back and burping you like a baby.
Jesus!
I wouldn't have used that verb, but I can confirm that did actually happen. There were cautious pats. There was no consoling Pineapple. She was not ready. Neither of us were either, but for different reasons. It was very funny.
Pineapple's not a hugger.
I mean, right? He is quite tall.
The way that he moves isn't like not quite human.
Were you sitting there in the karaoke line when he fucking came at me when I was tired?
Yes, I saw him and I did not warn you.
Exactly. See, that shit, you earned that. I was laying.
You were sleeping. You were sleeping. He walked by and then poked his head back around the corner. He looked at us like, be fucking quiet. And then he just sort of slinked around and then went on Louis.
Yeah, he made a weird fucking noise and fucking
like tickled
fucking wangled his fingers on my neck, and I was motherfucker. I yelled, and that, of course, that's naturally the reaction he wants.
Deeply enjoyed that.
I fucking would. You see what happens next time, buddy? I'm gonna get you stuck in an elevator.
No.
All of that motherfucker, and
the word elevator now triggers me.
But like in a happy kind of way, right?
We were talking about something.
Okay, but it was one little thing is Thursday morning after for my photo op with Richard, Chris walks up, he hugs me, and I didn't recoil that time. I hugged him.
Oh, good job, buddy.
I was like a person.
So proud.
And he goes, make sure to say hi to everyone for me. And I was like, okay. And I walked away like, I don't know what he's talking about. We are all except for Corbett. We are all.
That was like,
I don't think
he
knows.
tagline of the weekend, except for Corbett.
It's like, I don't think he understands. We are all here.
God, imagine what would happen to that man if we all just descended. But even then, it's still not all, because there's the whole like it's like that Katamari. It's just bigger and bigger and bigger.
I wonder if that's how Rich felt when we all showed up for that one.
We got a Casa Erotica up.
There was just like 7 of us, 6 of us.
Wait, tell them about buying that up.
Oh, I walked up and I was like, can I get I was like, whatever, a rich opera. And I was like, can I get a Casa Erotica op? And he, the guy selling the Obstinatos was like, you're the first one who hasn't whispered that shamefully.
No shame.
Like, nope.
And I was like number 37 or something.
One
like,
corn up, please.
So I was like the only one who didn't like Casa Erotica. I just
that
yelled
makes
it. Like,
so much worse too. Like if you whisper, that makes it way dirtier.
It does.
Is that its official name?
Yes, Casa Erotica.
Yeah, and his shirt was like unbuttoned, like
here. right up.
No, but I mean, like the op.
Sternum.
It's not like Rich in costume. Or,
no, it is. It's like Richard Spade Jr. Casa Erotica. And the funny thing about that op is that it
has the name erotica in it. Like I think if you removed the first word, they might have reconsidered titling the op as such. But it definitely has the word erotica.
It actually costs more than a Rob and Rich duo op, so you're actually paying extra to get the mustache instead of Rob.
Oh, I wonder how Rob feels about that.
God, I want to ask him. Who has his own solo meet and greets now?
Yes.
He apparently wanted, like, he requested that, I guess. And he was saying that in Orlando, he was like, I was supposed to have a meet and greet, and that Stephanie, like, just forgot to put it on there. So he's going to be doing them all year.
Surprise for everybody. Because who likes sleep?
Yeah, he did it. He did his solo one, and then they had it scheduled to end at noon, and they had the Swain one scheduled to start at noon. And I was like, oh boy. So it was his, and then Swain, and then immediately after that, they had it's going to be the vendor jam and the Swain autos. And I was like, none of this shit is going to go on time. And then like the intro, so everything was just
nothing did.
Late.
Yep.
I was looking at the schedule, like, how did they think that this was going to go?
They didn't think.
No.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it's just like piles of cocaine backstage, because otherwise, I don't think I could make it through 1/3 of that morning schedule. I don't do cocaine. I'm just assuming.
Tasha,
tell us about.
Tell us
Any
stories.
fucking thing, I don't care.
Any fucking thing, I don't care. What was the highlight of your con? Was face.
I was like,
I know what you're. I know because I already. It's so funny. We were sitting down talking, and I was like, "Tasha, what was the highlight of your con?" And I was like, "I just went into radio mode." And she's like, "You did." I was like, "I just started interviewing you instead of talking to you."
I had so many good interactions with Brianna, and it made me so happy. Like when I saw her, when I went to go get the photo,
she looked hot as fuck too.
God, she did. She's so beautiful. And when I saw her to go get like my first photo with her, she's like, "Hey, how are you?" And it was really cute. And like Chris took 2 photos, and so we're just hugging. And in the first photo, she's smiling, and then in the second photo, she's like smiling even bigger. And I'm just like, oh. And then I had an auto, and she laughs because I bug her all the time on Twitter, so she knows my name. And I was getting autos for someone else because I had their pass. And when I had someone else's name on the auto.
What?
I had someone else's pass for the con. And so I was getting their autos for them to mail to them.
Which is the thing I will never understand. Like, oh, just get this shit signed for me. Like,
well, yeah. Well, they live in the UK, so like they had some health issues, so they couldn't make the con.
No criticism there. It just always makes me like, because you hear about that all the time. People getting, like checking off a box, like, oh, I'm gonna get this auto and this auto. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like, so I had her name on the thing that I was getting autoed, and Brie looked up and she looked at me. She's like, "Now you're just fucking with me. That's not your name." Yeah, that's not. But I was like, "But we're gonna sing Spice Girls tonight at karaoke," and she was like, "You are?" And I was like, "Yeah." Come on, Mom, do us a solid. And it was really funny. When we went up, she hugged me and she was like, "I knew you'd come up." And I was like, "Thanks." And then everybody sat down during karaoke.
It was terrifying.
So terrifying. I was like, "What are you guys doing? Help." But
nope.
Brianna was the only one throwing us a bone while we were up there.
I went back through and I rewatched all the different periscopes and stuff. And she was like, she says in the periscope, "I'd sit down, but my pants are too tight." And I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Had to help us out there.
We went up and they all sat down, and I just panicked. Usually I'm drunk when I go up at karaoke, but this time.
But it was too far of a walk.
It's too far of a walk. And I was just like, this is a living nightmare. Oh no. I was like, I'm way too here for this. You know what I mean?
I was already outside. Like, I waited several hours in line with everybody else. I'd fought with a creation employee. She can suck a dick, by the way. And then made it 15 minutes into karaoke and was already outside with my 4 shots of rum from an hour earlier, chain smoking, bitchy subtweeting. So I was already gone.
Multitasking.
I was removed from this entire experience, but I would have laughed.
Does Moose Knuckle Alley still exist?
Yeah, it does, but it's shrunk. Though. It shrunk.
Okay.
It wasn't like the giant chasm. Yeah, I think the songs didn't have a lot of breaks in them. That's why.
Which was good. The songs were really good at this con.
How did Matt do?
The sound system wasn't fucked up, which was really nice.
With the assortment of. How did Matt do?
It was gone for a lot, but he was good. I think there were actually just too many actors on the stage. It was a lot.
I think they were super overcompensating.
Yeah.
Well, it takes 9 people to replace Richard Speight Jr. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But and they tried.
And if you're not gonna have Rob either, sure you can have Kim and Bree, but that's if somebody's gonna have to go for karaoke ops, then Well, fuck. Well, then where are you? And where the fuck was Jason Mans leaving these people in the dust the entire weekend for both intros and karaoke? How about that shit?
I thought that Jason was going to be there during the intro, so I was like, where the fuck? He only showed up on Sunday, and I was like,
yeah.
Nope.
Where are you?
Left those fuckers in the dust all weekend.
He had prior commitments.
Yeah.
He went during those specific hours.
He went to so Pao, Julia, and I were eating lunch on, I don't know what fucking day it was. I don't know. And it was like that hash brown place where the railing is right next to the hallway between the con center and the hotel. And Jason walked by, sees us, comes back and chats with us for a few minutes, and then he was just standing there talking to us for a while. I was like, do you want to sit down? He's like, no, I have a prior engagement. And then he went to the casino. I mean, he went towards it. Funny. I can only imagine that was yeah, when you said prior engagement, it reminded me of that.
I bet, buddy. The prior engagement part is the commute from the con area to the actual gambling. The rest is gravy.
We were trying to eat before going back to Alex's panel, and I was like, there's so much food. And he's like, well, you put your fork down, that's a problem. And I was like, okay. I picked the fork and I'm like, please don't watch me eat. And he just went like, I was like, stop, don't look at me. Anyway, so
speaking of handing over names that confuse people for autos, what day was the intro that Rich got all self-conscious about transcripts? That has to be Saturday. He was only there Saturday.
He was
there Thursday.
Right, but I didn't get there Thursday till like 1:30 a.m.
Okay, so then I had to open the Saturday one.
So, and this is like, Corbett, I don't know if you listened to the intro that day.
There's no pirates that day, I don't think.
There sure as shit was. What the fuck? Okay,
maybe I didn't get the notification. But...
I'm gonna have to go back and address that because I was getting.
Well, you recorded it, didn't you? Like with video.
I'm sure someone did.
Because I didn't record
but it absolutely was pirated. I think there's got to be.
Yeah, I think it was.
And now this definitely has to go in private because now we're talking about this. But I mean, it's not like there's any useful way to avoid it. And who the fuck is gonna watch it anyway? But
I don't think they give a shit. But let's not let.
No, they don't. But we can't.
Reason.
They had me cornered well before that. If they gave a shit, they would have given a shit then. But like I was getting messages like because signal was so bad.
It could have been that.
I was getting messages like hours after the fact because that's when my phone would load. Like, hey, is there no pirates of that? And people were disappointed because I was tweeting out before the con like, hey, there's going to be so many of us there that there's no way we're going to miss anything. And to my knowledge, we were streaming almost literally everything.
Yeah,
like I would set somebody aside. We'd go through how to do it. And they'd hit go and it would say broadcasting. And I'd get back later, is nobody doing this? And I know that I have some broadcasts that didn't get uploaded, but we're going to have to find a better way to troubleshoot that. Because there's no point in doing it live if people aren't getting it live. But because we had it spread across so many people. Anyway, we'll revisit that later. And also we have somebody that wants to run an account to delegate that, which we should talk about later. But so there was a point during this intro that I thought was streamed where it wasn't even like a passing thing, where Rich had come out and he started off by addressing the wrong cities. Hello, Vancouver. Bless his heart. Because he'd just gotten off a plane from Vegas to Vancouver, back to Vegas.
Yeah,
I thought under 18 hours.
I thought that he was.
No, probably not. Probably not.
I thought he was going to LA, and then I realized he was going to Vancouver, and I was like, oh, that's a longer distance.
Yeah. Especially to go there and work.
Ethic.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it speaks to how much he loves Vegas. Is that you would come back to spend 8 hours working there before you went.
I think he didn't want to miss that SNS.
Yeah.
I'd give it that. But it wasn't even just like a small aside where he got self-conscious about having messed up. Like, this is like a good 2 or 3 minutes of the end of the intro dedicated to his embarrassment at having fucked up. Because he said something real dumb at Billy. It was like he was trying real hard to swing for that, like, where he says something really sassy and overly sexualized about Billy. But it came out as like if the devil had taken a pottery class and fashioned a lump.
I forgot about that.
And fashioned a lump into whatever the end result was. That was Billy Moran, but to no discernible effect. That was it. That was the end of the. And then he just ragged on himself for like a good solid 3 minutes. So then, there, of course, there's me and Pineapple immediately messaging Corbett like, "You didn't break him. You didn't break him. It's fine. You didn't break him." And Corbett is, of course, like, "I fucking broke him."
It's not like he doesn't know that they're recorded. Like, he knows that they're going to be on YouTube. But I think
he was particularly, and he spelled it right out. Like, and he was even being evasive in saying so. He was like, "Sometimes I see these online," but he specifically did mean Corbett in her transcripts, because y'all know that, like, we talked about this at great length. Spent like fucking 40 minutes of a bus trip, like, reading himself and cackling and ignoring Rob. He's like, "I'm fucking funny," like, reading himself. So naturally, I'm just gonna keep throwing Corbett under the bus here. She's like, "I fucking broke him," and I'm like, "Nope, that's not the case." And so is Pineapple. So I had an auto left over from San Fran that I missed. I can't even remember the reason why, but I'd gone to hand in the ticket to Stephanie, saying like, "Hey, do with this whatever you can, but I've missed his autos now." And what she wrote on the back was like, "Hey, good for you, Sideni Khan." And I was like, "Ha ha ha, I'm gonna do this shit." So me with my no ticket at the time, I go up to get an autograph from Richard Speight, and I was
no, because it's like,
oh, I'm not done. You're just gonna sit here and enjoy this.
It's not that he doesn't know he's being recorded. It's that things come across differently in print, which we talked about.
Yeah, but he was entertained. Shush. He was entertained by the notion of reading that.
Motherfucker.
The very existence of the transcript is like there's something
being observed.
They weren't meant for that. No, they weren't. They weren't meant for that. Like, it's improv. It's meant to be like ephemeral in that way. And,
Jared Padalecki made me look up that word, and I'm still mad about it. Ephemeral. It means transitory. It means fucking short-lived. So.
But he was like, "This is going to be funny when it's written down," is what he meant.
That's why he talked about it so much. And it wasn't like, even though he said on stage, like, "Oh, I sometimes see these online," he did specifically mean you, because I went up for the autograph, and this woman was like, she's, they're personalizing. She's like, "Did you want me to write down your name?" I was like, "No, it's fine." And I had run to the vendor's room, and I was like, "Scout, give me literally any fucking thing that Richard Speight can write on for Corbett." And she's like, she's handing me her expensive ass merch and shit. And I'm like, "No, stop that. One, that's a really small space. And two, no, that just paper. I want paper." And eventually she handed me this note card. And so I get up to the auto line because they're super late. And I show up without any. I confused the hell out of the handler because I hand over this blank note card. Did knock that over with no name on it. And I get passed over to him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Lua, what's up?" And I'm like, "Corbett thinks she broke you." And he's like, "Why do you say that?" And I'm like, "Oh, because of the intro this morning, and you guys were talking about." I didn't even have to clarify. He's like, "Oh, no. I'm unbreakable." And I was like, "Yeah, I think she thinks she made you self-conscious." He's like, No. I'm the least self-conscious person in the world." And he's like smirking. He's happy. And I'm like, well, I just wanted to know if you could write an autograph on here for Corbett because I'm shameless. And he's like, yes. So he writes a fucking novel, which you later saw, and these motherfuckers, because they're not interested in my prolonged fucking existence on this mortal coil, or like periscope that shit, and I didn't. Thank you very much. And what he had written was, Corbett, I'm unbreakable. You can't break me. I love your transcripts. Never stop. Or something like that. This man was fucking happy. He knew exactly what he was saying when he was going off on a tangent making fun of himself. He wants to see that shit because it's funny. Like he didn't ruin it. He's making fun of himself, and that's engaging in a way. Like he likes the thing.
Oh, I'd do it whether he wanted me to or not. Like if he hated it, I mean, I'd still. It's not for him. It never has been.
This isn't about you.
It's not about you, Corbett. This is about you being loved on. All right, motherfucker. I knocked over this beer and it tried so hard to explode on my hand during that entire diatribe. So if you'll excuse me, I really need to wash this hand. I was smooshing it into not doing that. But I think we're gonna have Fran on before it's her tiny little bean bedtime.
Oh,
wait, so the chat just watched me open this, so I have to explain what it is. So I tweeted after Panera started getting delivery, I was like, Panera has delivery and I'm never ever going to like cook again. And so then they tweeted me and they were like, hey, can we have your address? We want to send you something. And I was like, what? So it's like a cute little card. Nice. And then it was like, just because you didn't hand make your lunch doesn't mean you can't have a handmade lunch. And it's a little coffee cup. And a little knitted cactus and a plant.
What the fuck? That's so cute.
And then like gold place settings.
Oh my, wow.
Aho Radio brought to you by Panera.
Panera, definitely. Man, those bread bowls are amazing. And the Greek salads. And right? I love silverware and mini cactus.
Food, it's so pretty. Oh, okay, so yeah, that was my story.
Tasha,
yes.
Tell us more VegaaaasCon tales.
How
much did you love SNS?
I really, really, really loved SNS.
Brianna singing the fucking Wayward song.
I couldn't believe that she was singing the way, like, I am the fire until like she got to the chorus, because I was like, no, she's not doing this. She's not doing this right now. And then she just started belting the chorus, and I was like, holy freaking crap, like, she's doing this.
It's happening. It's fucking happening.
It was so great. And then I mean, I've seen Jensen sing Whipping Post a couple times, but like that was a really great performance of Whipping Post.
It was great.
Oh, it was so good. And we'd heard them like sound checking Dead or Alive, but then when Corey Taylor came out, like everyone lost their damn minds. And like it was like, okay, I know who Slipknot is, but I don't like know how cool Corey Taylor is. But like he just freaking killed it. And then like come to find out, like he's like a hella like big fan of the show too. So he's fanboying as like everybody's fanboying over him. And it was just like, oh, there's so much love fest going on right now. And oh, it was so beautiful. It was so great. And then like we had like purple lights for She Waits, and those were nice and enchanting.
Tasha was very enchanted.
I was very enchanted.
Tasha was in a good place to be enchanted by lights.
I understood the appeal.
We were all, I think, very enchanted by the lights.
So much. It was a great show. Like almost everybody did new songs, and I got to see Copperhead Road again.
Yes. Oh my god. I'm gonna throw Scout under the bus. As soon as he got to the chorus and everything, I turned around to look at Scout.
What?
She just screams, "Squad!"
Oh,
I was dying.
wow.
It was so funny. It was so good though. I thought that was. I've heard Copperhead Road
It was so
twice
good.
now. Twice, but that was.
No, I thought you were talking about Scout. I thought you were like, that was so good what you did there. That moment. I wish it'd been me.
No, I think he's getting better at that song. It's really good. Yeah, SNS was fucking amazing. I had no idea who that guy was.
Yeah, I don't know music.
Alicia and Julia wanted to disown us for not knowing who that guy was. Yes, SNS is amazing.
Good. I was so dead on Sunday. I was like, I still have to be alive. Like, I had the gold panel for the first time ever, and
oh yeah, like, how was the gold panel?
It was so good. Like, Jensen was in a great mood, which just kind of like made the whole vibe of everything better.
They seemed like all the faves seemed to be in a really fucking great mood this con. Like everyone just seemed like they were having the best time.
Oh, it was so good. But yeah, they did like I think the J2 panel was like better than the gold panel because Stephen Norton was trolling Jared the entire time.
I was so fucking living for it. I loved it so much.
It was amazing.
I genuinely was like starting to get a little afraid for Norton's like well-being. I was like, Jared is a like tornado of destruction. What if he comes back there? Can you imagine if he broke the drum kit?
Oh man. But it was good. I really liked Alex's panel too.
Yeah, he's so cute.
He's really cute and like not afraid to like call it like it is instead of like kind of trying to use nice words. Like he just straight up called like someone touching his butt sexual harassment. So I was like, fuck yeah.
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 Yeah, and someone groped Misha in his ops, and it was right before. I won't tell the story. I'll let her speak for herself. But yes, it was nice to see them talk about that. Like that shit is not okay.
Yeah. Misha's panel was rather uncomfortable.
I left.
I super did too. I really loved Misha and couldn't stick around for that one. The questions were really awkward and just no.
I can't stand. I can't take the secondhand embarrassment. So I just walked out. It's like I'm gonna go start the SNS line. Bye. My name actually came up to ask a question, but I was like, "The hell will freeze over before he gets through 24 questions in this panel, so I'm not gonna bother." Yep. Should we? Let me check on Fran.
Yes, Fran. Fran needs to tell a story about when Chris sang Rockabye Fran to her.
Pardon?
Fran needs to tell a story of when Chris sang Rockabye Baby to her.
Yes. I'm excited to hear her con stories. Tasha, how were your photo ops? You had such cute photo ops.
Oh god, I had such good ones. Like they were so good.
You and Taryn had a Brie one that was the cutest shit where you were both like kissing her cheeks.
Oh, it's so cute. I'm gonna pull it out and show it because
please
I love
do.
it. Let me pull out my investment portfolio, as I am now calling it.
Oh.
I love it so much.
It's precious, man.
Oh gosh, the Rob one. I'm getting requests. Hold on. Oh, the Rob one kills me. So I have to tell the story of the Rob one.
Okay. Oh.
And Pineapple could help because she was there.
Oh yes. This was the cutest shit. I demanded to go after her because I wanted to see it happen. And then I'm gonna demonstrate.
We did it Friday, right? Yeah, we did it Friday because there were so many days. And there were so many days. I can't wait another day to see him. Like I have to hug him now. And so of course I went and I bought a photo op and we're waiting in line And like I saw him, he like smiled and he went to go like give me a hug, and I just like grabbed his hands and I turned so that like you could like see my tattoo, because you know that's what I need in life. And I was like, can we do this one? And I like started over it and everything. And he was like, yeah, like he like understood what I was saying, because I just like totally just didn't go for the hug. I was just like grabbed his hands. And so I'm like sitting and I'm like looking at him and I'm just like staring in his eyes, and Chris walks over and he's like, I need to be able to see your face. And so then
her hair was like this.
So then I just like flipped my hair and looked at him like, are you satisfied?
Because her hair was like this, and Chris goes up to her and she goes and just gives Chris a look like, is it better now? And it was the sassiest thing I've ever seen. And Rob was laughing. And I was living.
It was so good. So we took the picture and it turned out really cute. And then I think I hugged him afterwards, but I don't remember. I just kind of blacked out. But it was so fun.
Yeah, I think he did hug you. It was adorable. I was just so incoherent all weekend. I was just so dead. And every time I would see Rob, I would just like go,
no.
And he would look at me and go, it's just a heart eye emoji at each other. I was like, okay, bye.
It was best.
Because I held hands with him and we did like the shoulder head thing. And then afterwards I just like, and he's like, oh, come here. It's so fucking cute.
I loved his face during Scout and I did a Rob and Misha photo together. And his face when like I walked up and I said hi to him, and then I went to go hug Misha, and I looked back and Scout and Rob weren't in the right position at all, and I was like, no. And so I grabbed Scout's hand and I pulled her to where she like so that she was next to me. And Chris was like, are you good, like is this okay? And I'm like, yeah, no, we're in position. So we took the picture and Rob's just like smiling like the cutie that he is. And then we walk away and Chris is like, retake. I was like, really, Chris? So then we walk around and like Rob just looks like confused, like, you're back? And it's like, yeah, we're back. But it was really cute. He's just so cute and smiley. I love him so much. Man. I did a swing op with him and Kat as well. I walked up and I was like, I'm gonna hug you, and she doesn't want to share the rest of the band, so she's gonna hug everyone else. And he was like, okay. She doesn't want to share the rest of the band. I gave you Rob. Shut up. Literally the only way we can take a swing off now is if you're hugging Rob and I'm hugging everybody else. I tried one time to hug the rest of the band instead of Rob, and it didn't turn out well. Okay.
No, that turned out amazing. He looks so angry. It's adorable. I have the world's most awkward swing up this weekend.
Worse than ours?
Almost. Did you see it?
Yeah, okay. No, but I just want ours to stay the top contender.
Well, I'll let you be the judge. Julia and Rob and Borja look adorable. Yeah. But I'm gonna try to talk so that it zooms, so that it goes on my thing.
No, I saw it on your page. Well, we were talking about this, or yeah, that was with you and Lua, that like I love pictures of you looking uncomfortable receiving affection. It's funny because this is unique to like you and Richard Spade, because I have an entire folder of Rich receiving affection and looking uncomfortable, but like the same thing applies to you, and it's like only you two people in the entire world. But I love it.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah. No, and so like I
think I'm only uncomfortable.
I want a calendar.
I think I'm only uncomfortable receiving affection, reluctant affection from Stephen Norton.
Because I don't know. It's just something about the camera because you're like so lovely and warm and
Wait.
Oh, I think Fran. Hi, Fran.
Oh wait. Sorry, I'm sorry. My setting's so trashy. I'm literally sitting on my floor.
No, you're fine.
fine.
You're
I apologize for that first.
I'm in my PJs in my bedroom. No one's judging.
Cool.
Louis should be back in a bit. Hi.
I'm so excited to see all of you. I like miss like so many of you from Vegas.
Oh, I know. I wish I had seen more of you. I was like,
I know.
I saw so many people. I wish I had seen more of them. And
Mhm.
you look like you were having a fantastic time.
I
And
was.
I just want to say I'm so glad your video and audio is perfect.
Okay, good.
So many people join in and it's just a mess. And that's working, so I'm happy about that.
Cool.
How was your con?
It was great. It was probably like the best one I've been to, honestly. Like I had gone to Phoenix last year and I've been going to conventions since like 2013 and I do like one a year and every single time I'm like, "Oh, this was the best one." And then it always beats it the next year. So Vegas was great.
Hi, Small Bean.
Hello.
Thank you, by the way, for warning creation of the scary stalker guy.
Oh, you're welcome. He was pretty scary. Chris was very into it. He was like, "Come with me," and then he like made me talk to some people. So, but it's all good now, and the creation has his face, and I guess like the CEOs have pictures of it and stuff too.
Oh, that poor salty little bitch.
I
Must
know.
be real bad.
That was bad.
Was that the dude who was posting the periscopes? Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pao and I also went to talk to Rachel
Okay,
about that.
cool.
It's amazing how he never showed up.
I know.
Big dick on the internet, I'm sure. Sorry, go on.
That's it. I don't know.
I was a little bit behind you with your ops with Elise.
Yeah.
With Rob. And I watched Chris just pick you up like a doll and just do
my baby.
That was awful.
And then unceremoniously dump you on the ground
It
afterwards.
was horrible.
And I missed that on the Twitter version.
Rob laughed so much.
It was so bad because we were like, okay, this is the op. We're like, we want a cute, candid picture. We were like, but we don't know how to ask for that. So we just kind of, in the spur of the moment, we're like, we saw Misha Lucky up where they asked them like to tickle them, but we were like, we're gonna ask for wording that isn't as strange. But we kind of just were like, in the moment, like, you should tickle us. And Chris goes, tickle you? And he was like disgusted. And so instead, he goes, well, I'm just gonna pick up Fran. And he did that and proceeded to walk around the op room with me, just like a baby in his arms. And I was like, okay. I was like, this is fine.
There's nothing you can do. He's 8 feet tall.
I know.
Nothing
I was like,
to be done about it.
I'm 5'1". He's 6'4". It was horrible. And I was like, please put me down. And he kind of just was like, no. And I was like, all right, well. And then he started singing to me, and I was like, this is so bad. Because he did it to me at Phoenix Con last year, and he goes, Rockabye Fran. I was like, please put me down.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was awful.
God, he's such a bastard. I love him so much.
I know. It was really bad.
Please put me down. No.
He's so bad with that. And then as I was leaving,
you may not be released.
He like, as I was leaving, he goes and he's like, I was like crying, and I was like, this was such a good weekend. I was like, thank you. And he was like, oh, don't worry. And he kept giving me hugs, and then he did this thing. He walked around the corner and he goes, Fran. And I was like, what? And he goes, 8 minutes. And I was like, what the hell? And he kept counting down until I left. I was like, you were so mean. He's a bad person. Yeah.
One of the no, I probably shouldn't say that. Never mind.
We should have a drinking game where you take a shot every time Louis says, oh, I shouldn't say that.
We don't have enough rum.
I'm drinking enough for all of us.
Oh my god. Enough rum.
There was she's gonna listen, she's gonna kill me. There was an employee that he was like
oh, I think I know what story you're going to tell. He's gonna
he
kill
was
you.
making her repeat phrases in Greek, and then he'd tell her what he had her say. One of them was, "I have a dirty vagina."
Oh my god.
Because that's the man that Chris Schmelke is. This is who we are trash for. Let's all just reflect on ourselves.
He's an idiot.
Did anyone watch the dick chats from this weekend?
No, I
Oh
wish
my
They
God.
were
Yeah.
fucking great.
Did Sam collect them?
Yeah.
Yes, and there's also someone compiled it into a YouTube video.
Was that Dean?
Dean.
They're so good about that shit. It kills me. We
Mhm.
need to do like once. Not to say it hasn't been over a year since we've been doing this, and I still haven't got my shit together. But once I figure out the not $300 software for playing videos on screen while we live stream, or that, we'll work it out somehow.
We should buy it. I told you.
Dude, we should work something out because like there are so many things I feel like we could stand to review as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Like just let it play and watch. And so many, like just the start to finish of the emotional anguish, the arc of that, from the beginning of a con to the end of Dick Chat.
Yeah.
And its many substitutes.
But I don't think you understand. The band got control of Dick Chat while Richard
Billy
was gone.
got control of Dick Chat.
Yes, and he was trying to they did a bit where he kept asking people if they were taking their vitamins, and then because he was like, "What happens if you take too many vitamins?" And then Steven said, "Well, your pee gets really yellow," and then and he kept asking people, "Do you take vitamins?" And they would say yes, and he would just look at the camera like. And then they did a bit where he tries to burst into the bathroom on Steven to record his pee, and Steven tries to flush the toilet like, "I told you once, I told you 1,000 times, you can't film my pee." And then they tried to put Borja in a box.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't go there, he's a person.
The box that they put I guess it's for the drums or whatever. And they were trying to shove him in there. And then at one point he was like, "No, I'm getting claustrophobic." And they were just like, "Get in there."
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, after this,
talking too much.
We're gonna have to, no. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to find a way where, God help, if we were, I remember we used to stream fucking 8 goddamn hours when we figured out how to do this. We did just 8 fucking hours. God help us when we figure out how to play things in real time.
Oh, it's gonna be the same thing. We're gonna be
It's gonna
let's
be the
watch
worst.
all of Supernatural with commentary.
Yeah, we would watch
literally
that,
until CW stops us.
Literally. We could certainly watch all of Kings of Con. We have all of it. Speaking of which, if anybody wants all 10 episodes, hit me up. There's a time where I felt bad, and that time ended after we exceeded 1 year since its air date.
It's also I think a lot of people don't realize because they don't really advertise it, but it's on iTunes and Google Play for most regions now.
Yeah, so if you wanted to be a responsible human being, you could do that also. But remember, this is going on private now because we've said things we shouldn't mostly.
We sure have.
But yeah, also, a wonderful human being gave me. I was gonna tweet this out earlier today, but then there was vodka, and then I just had this whole other set of priorities. But somebody had given me the entire library of everything publicly available that Rob Benedict has been in.
Oh God.
I have all of it. I copied all of it. If you want that.
I want that.
And that reminded me that I have almost most of the major features that Misha's been in as well. I have almost every movie, whatever. So if anybody wants any of that shit.
Has everyone seen that short Rob did where he's in love with his dad?
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Drunk Lewis sent that to Matt while he was in Europe, so it was sober hours for Matt. And he watched the entire thing And he was like, "That's the best thing I've ever seen." And I was like, that is the worst fucking shit. You are the worst. That is not true. He's like, "No, it was amazing." And he was really proud of it, and then showed. Yes. It's the worst. It's the worst thing. That's in there though. That's in there. Sexy Daddy.
Rob mentioned in passing the horror movie he did.
Oh,
in the
callback.
He was like, it was terrible. And I was like, is that the one where you're tortured? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I can't watch that.
That one's pretty funky.
I just watched the trailer and I was like, no.
Oh, I've seen the full thing. Don't do that to yourself.
Do that. I would say that about Sexy Daddy. Don't do that to yourself.
Don't do that to yourself.
Don't go there. Don't go to that place. You won't fully come back.
That's just Sexy Daddy.
The sound effects alone. Have you seen the uncensored version? Where the dude is he's fucking the whale?
What?
I don't want
That's uncensored.
No.
They got uncensored porn of a dude fucking a plastic whale for that. It's fully uncensored. Just so you all know.
No.
Alicia is right. It is
There's probably
unfunny
somebody
to die,
out there
but
that's into that.
do it. Don't. HR, don't do it, buddy. I'm telling you, you're not gonna come back the same.
Save yourself.
Don't do it.
Fran.
Yes.
I'm gonna change the topic.
Sorry.
How?
Like, not really, but she brought it up.
How were your ops this weekend?
Oh, my ops were great. I wasn't able to do 2 of them.
Oh no.
And yeah, Chris is like, don't tell anyone. But next con, just bring your loud and swing ops. And I was like, okay, thank you. And so, but we're all good. So, but here's another Chris story that just
This is gonna go on private.
yeah. The only thing I can think about is that I once again was crying. For some reason, he likes to just make sure instead of cheering me up, he makes the situation worse. Yeah. And so I was sitting on the floor and I thought I was gonna miss my Swain ops because my flight and the op time didn't work out, and I thought it was going to. And he goes, and I was eating a soft pretzel, and Chris goes, Fran, are you okay? And I was like, no, not really. And then he's like, was your soft pretzel bad? And he's like, was the cheese not good? And I was like, okay, thank you. And he walks away, and I was like, great. But going back to ops were great. I had a really cute one with Rob, and I got stage ops with Swain, and I got my Chris ops, which have never done before, but we asked him and he was free, so we got those, and they came out super cute. So it was very fun.
I like that you excluded the part where he paraded you around, like being sung to against your will. It was super cute, though.
Very much went through that earlier.
I know. We haven't posted the op yet, but we're gonna wait till we get the JPEG, and then we're gonna post it and kind of probably put a cute caption on it. But the stories are on like my private accounts and stuff.
I mean, it's like affection. You can't really. It's hard. You can't really pinpoint the difference.
Yeah.
It's sort of like fondness. It's a little bit like malice. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. If Chris throws something at you, you're in the club.
He handed me cockroaches.
Oh yeah.
Still
I saw that. I saw that happen. It was delightful.
Still mad. There wasn't even any point.
I was Vegas last year. I just watched Chris come out of the. Oh, there's a bird.
She does have a bird. I thought somebody was like just on crack. What is your bird called?
Fern. Everyone thinks I named him after myself. It's not. I just
like but you spelled your name wrong.
Yeah, everyone keeps saying that. They're like, "Did you name him after yourself?" I'm like, "No."
Wait, can you put the fern toward the camera so I can get it excitedly? Because we had cats before, but I ain't never had a bird. Oh my god!
He'll probably
try. This is the best day ever. I'm so excited right now.
Yeah, this is him. He's kind of a jerk. It's okay. I've yelled at him.
I'm so thrilled.
He's on my camera.
Can you put a tiny service animal vest on him and bring him to the con?
Dress him up as one of
Have
the
you
angels.
considered?
Yes. He no, people were
Bird.
like, "Oh, you should bring him to the convention." I was like, "No, that's not a good idea."
Well, like maybe there's no purpose to that. But I feel you.
Maybe it'll poop on Chris.
Oh, I was saying that. I was like, I know as soon as I bring him, Chris is gonna be like, "Get that away from me."
It's not taxidermied. Still not against the rules.
Maybe it'll perch on his head.
Radio bird.
But yeah, people are like, "Oh, you named him after yourself." I'm like, no, because I go by Francesca when I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah, but it's not Francesca.
Exactly.
Like, I can read.
Yeah, but it's funny. I actually changed my name just for Twitter because I go by Francesca all the time, but I changed it to Fran so it was easier for people to spell.
We are simple creatures.
We are simple creatures.
Yep.
I have to tweet this bird. That's so cool. I never had a bird before.
Shame
It's less murdery. It's okay. Look, this is far less dynamic and interesting.
Yes.
Shame owl.
Y'all got so nostalgic so quick. This is a ceramic bird and painting. It's not real.
The first thing I did when I went to LA was take a selfie with Shame Owl.
It's true. That's what everybody fucking does.
Well, when I move to LA, can I take a selfie with Shame Owl?
No.
Yes. Oh.
Judging all of it.
How is SNS, Ryan? I heard someone came off stage.
Yeah. That dude. I don't know what it was Chris. But I don't know what came into his head to be like, Fran's standing over there. I'm gonna run off stage just to like go to her hand and then run back. I was like, okay. Like I was
being a shit generally.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay. And like he just looked over and I knew. I was like, no. And then he ran down and I was like, go back on stage. And then he like touched my hand. I was like, okay.
Get back up there.
I know. Every time.
You get back on that
stage.
He also had this real cute moment with me later where my friends and I sat in this hallway in Vegas that was like right outside of the opera door, and there were benches everywhere, so we called ourselves BenchCon. So we literally don't even call it VegasCon. It is now just BenchCon. And so
I had BedCon for like a hot minute, I feel you.
I saw that on Twitter, yes.
It was so important.
I know. Sleep. We were like sitting on this floor, and this was the same day that Chris made fun of me for not liking my pretzel, and I was crying and I was upset. And here come Matt, Gil, Richard, and Chris, and this is the only time Chris did not say anything to us, and I was like, okay. And then he walks through the door and then stops, and he looks at Matt and whispers something, and then Matt and Chris just right to me, and I was like, no. And then Matthew just starts running towards me with his arms open, and I was like, oh my god. And then like I was like, what's happening? And then like he gives me this hug, and he's like, I'm just passing along a hug. And I was like, okay. And I was like, thank you. And then he walked away, and then Chris goes, bye friend. I was like, bye. And like, so
cute.
Yeah.
Friendship is a weapon, friend.
Friendship is a weapon. Weaponized affection.
He tries to make everything so difficult.
It's the assault and battery approach to friendship.
Exactly.
There's nothing like, there's no greater expression of fondness for Chris Schmelke than just like the real tired sigh. Just like that happened.
That's accurate. He's funny.
Yeah, he is. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Most of the time he thinks he's funny. We're putting this on private, never mind.
I know.
Reminded me. I tweeted your bird. Your bird is distinctly less murderous than most of the animal guests we've had.
I take offense to that.
Oh, trust me. You guys have no idea. Hold on. He'll bite the shit out of my hand. Come here.
Wait, you're gonna like this?
Right?
Oh, well, right now he's just interested in my nail polish. But if my nail polish wasn't on, he'd bite the crap out of my fingers.
Wait, Corbett, you had a bird once.
What?
You had a bird.
Not growing up. Lots of birds. But...
Tell us about. I remember. Didn't you have a racist bird?
Oh no, that
that
was
was
my
my
neighbor's
owl.
bird.
Oh, that was you. Wait, can you tell us about the racist bird? Because I just love this story. It's dear to my heart.
His name was Mango. He has since been eaten by a hawk. But
It's justice.
I forgot that
As
part.
most races should be.
okay, so this bird went through many owners because it's a parrot. It lives forever, and people don't commit
People
to
die.
owning it. And I'm not going to tell you that part, but
It just.
it was.
I'm shutting up.
Someone had taught it some inappropriate shit, so you can't take that bird in public. And it was really awful, though. But the funny part of the story that Lua enjoys, I think, is it would when my neighbor first got it, it liked to hang out in the apple tree between our houses, and it liked to hide in the tree and yell, "Help! Help!" Motherfucking bird would shout for help, and then I was like, happening? And I was like, I started like climbing up the tree, and I found the bird. He's like, "Hello," and it started laughing. And it mimics people's laughs, which is
they do that. It's horrifying.
This racist ass bird. It kills me. It said racist shit to people. You couldn't take it anywhere. And then it got ate by a hawk.
It got eaten by a hawk. Yep.
That's hilarious. Sorry, I don't care if anyone else thinks that's funny. I do.
Lua loves that story.
It got ate as fuck by a hawk.
Oh my gosh.
Are you okay, buddy?
I'm living. It got eaten by a hawk. And it was racist. I mean, there's like no two funnier elements. Like, it's a bird. It's real dumb. It doesn't know.
I wish
but
a
it's
hawk
rude.
would show up at Donald Trump.
No, because remember, we started talking about that.
Long time.
We started talking about that because there was that guy in Australia. He was just like living his life. He was like sunbathing in the nude and with his nuts hanging out. And like this particular bird of prey, it was like a motherfucking eagle or some shit.
Thought it was turtle eggs.
And he thought it was turtle eggs. And like this fucking eagle thought these turtle eggs were positioned just so. And it might go ahead and grab those, but it was this man's nuts, and those were very firmly attached, but not for real long. And he had the most embarrassing day ever, I imagine. It was awful, and it was really horrifyingly funny. Just because, like, there were signs on the beach like you should not bathe nude here, and I feel like if they had included like a postscript like or you'll get your nuts ripped right off, like that would have discouraged people more firmly. But he didn't take heed of that, and his nuts sure did get ripped right off.
Did you witness this?
No, it was in the news, and I had quote tweeted it, and I was like, "Ha, that's real sad, but really funny."
I don't
because it's like who squats on a pair of turtle eggs? Nobody does that. I'm pretty sure that bird couldn't have been confused.
They know, like if they have signs up, it's a known problem. So the bird it's. You know,
I love that you have expertise on this. I'm so ready to hear.
Have done this before, and so it's not like it was a mix-up, right? I mean, it could have been.
No. The bird meant it.
Affinity for dude's balls.
The bird's like, I don't know if these are turtle eggs. I'm willing to chance it.
You don't need to lionize the eagle here. I mean, like, it could just be an asshole. Really?
Like they're not dumb. I mean, when do you usually find turtle eggs right atop a person, right there in the middle? Like, probably not that often. I mean, if they can identify turtle eggs, they can probably identify things which are distinctly not turtle eggs. But
they've got really good vision, right? Isn't that
No, they do. They have better vision than humans, so maybe just a little more spite.
So it's super not an accident. They definitely know it's not turtle eggs. They just have a taste for something different.
I don't, it didn't specify whether the bird ate them, but it did specify that that entire
They were
sort
removed.
of geographical region was not fully removed, just like 98%, with the bits you'd want to keep fully gone.
Does anybody want to hear about the bus tour?
Yes.
Tell me there's no segue there.
There's none.
Okay.
I almost tried so hard to reel us in, and it's just not working.
Lua just left.
She has to compose herself.
Speaking of birds, why don't you tell us about that bus tour, Pineapple?
Were there birds?
No. I can't come up with a segue. I just think we've been on bird eats. We've been on that long enough.
Tell us what you learned about the dam. How much can you recall? I hear it was very educational.
Oh my god, I was just like, do I actually have to learn things? I thought we were just gonna look at how big it was and then just and then just go. But no, it was like an actual like the history of it. So we got there, we went through like this security line. You have to throw your shit in a bin, go through a metal detector or whatever. And then we went through to this auditorium where we had to watch an educational movie, and I was like,
oh my god.
I was like, I don't want to learn. I was just like on Twitter, like so I don't actually know much about the dam other than it's very big. It takes 1 minute and 10 seconds to get from the top down to the bottom.
Wait, how long?
1 minute and 10 seconds in an elevator.
A whole 70 seconds.
She's Tasha's laughing because she knows. Okay, so we get there.
Julia says give her 15 minutes. She wants to talk about the rich bus tour kidnapping.
All right, what else we got to talk about?
Oh, Julia. Yes. Is she ready?
She said 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Oh, I'm going to just drop the link at her.
I'm actually going to log off because my phone's dying, but I'll be in the chat.
Okay. All right. While we're waiting for Julia, Fran, did you have more stories to tell from the con?
20,000 stories.
Yes.
Literally all of the stories are from Chris, though. Like, there's nothing else. Like, literally this entire con revolved around Chris. And then we were like, we should go to panels. And then we were like, wait, oh shit, sorry, my bird's fighting. We were like, we should go to panels. And then we were like, we don't have admission. So we literally just sat in the hallway.
Oh, you were lobby conning.
Kind of. We were like, we bought
this is definitely going on private.
Yeah. We bought Groupon tickets for like super cheap. And so we kind of were like okay with it. And so it was fun though. But oh my gosh. In terms of stories, I'm like trying to think. There was just so much that I can't even like express. Well, okay. Chris showed us what he looked like with hair, and that was very interesting. I was like, it was. He showed us about 3 pictures, and he's like, yeah, in high school, he's like, I had hair that went like this, and he like went and pointed down here. I was like, you had like scene kid hair? He's like, yeah, but I was blonde, and I was like, interesting, because I always assumed, yeah, like and I was like, wait, I thought you'd be like dark hair brunette, or at least you would have dyed your hair like that. He goes, nah. He's like, bleach blonde. And I was like, oh no. And like, so he showed us pictures of him, and that was an experience in itself. One of the main things though that I thought was very funny, Chris had this thing with us where, to make us laugh, he thought it would be funny to pretend to run into doors as hard as he possibly could, and oh my god, and slam his hand into it and then hold his head so it looked like he like did that. I don't know. So he did that, and then he leaves. About 30 seconds later, so we're assuming what he did is he just sat in the hallway and waited, and then came back and showed about just half of his face through the crack of the door, and then left. And then came back about 30 seconds later and took this small little thing of like strawberry jam and threw it as hard as he possibly could at Elise and then our friend Grace and I. And then my mom was sitting there the entire time, and she had never met Chris before. And I just turned to her, I'm like, that's Chris. And she was like, oh. And I was like, yep, that's him. I'm like, I don't.
Who is this man throwing things at you?
I know. And I was like, that's like the perfect, just, that's Chris. I was like, I don't know what else to say. And I was like, that's him. And so he's crazy. But he talked to us so much that convention. I feel like I know so much about him. And it's like, he's a strange dude.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So it was a really good convention, and I loved it. And it was very friend oriented as well. Like I hadn't met like a ton of people, or so I haven't met that many people in like such a small amount of time. Like I knew basically everyone in the SNS line, which was like insane. Like it was all just like friends from like Twitter, and it was like just so, I don't know how to describe it. It was just so like strange to like my entire timeline was in this little like chunk, and like it was really fun. And we got to meet a lot of new people. I got to meet like your entire friend group, and like I got to meet Scout for the first time, so it was fun.
Aw, Scout is wonderful.
Oh yeah, she's crazy. I love her.
Corbett, how was the con from someone not at the con? How was like the outsider perspective? Was it quiet or?
No, I mean it's hard to say because you guys were very talkative and so I don't know. I don't know. Call pirates when I could.
Sure.
It felt quiet, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aside from sort of like living vicariously through you guys, actual like news coming out of the con, it felt quiet to me. But
I heard that from a couple people, that it was very like no one was really like covering it at all.
I think everyone was so busy talking to each other because there was so much like.
Well, that's it. Yeah, like so many of our correspondents were there. Yeah, so that made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, like Lynn came through with photos, and there was some live tweeting. I mean, of course, things like blow up when Jared and Jensen take the stage, but.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Cam periscoping karaoke was fantastic. It was hard for me, like I because you were like 2 hours behind. A lot of nights I just had to crash.
Right, that's right. Everybody on the East Coast, it's
yeah. But we got to listen to SNS, and that was fantastic.
Good. Yes.
Good. Yeah, kind of quiet.
Scout and I got in a Robin Rich op, and we were like,
I saw that.
We're like, let's do the Kings of Con thing where they like grab Jared and Jensen's faces and pitch their show to them. And Scout bought like biggest pair of heels she could find so that she could be Jared over Rob, and she's still only like an inch taller than Rob. And so we went, and I had to give my phone to the volunteer or the team member, whatever they're called, to like show, and she showed it to them, and they both looked and were like, okay, got it. And then she gives me back my phone, they see that it's us, and they're like, oh. And then Rob just hugs me, and he's like, am I with you or her? And like Rob doesn't know where to go, and like they just looked at the photo and they had no idea what to do. And I was like, you're with her, you're in the middle, you're facing outwards. And like it was just Rich grabbed my face. Rich was supposed to grab my arms, but he grabbed my face. I was like, that's fine. And then I just like really slowly put my hands on his face, like this is killing me. And then I'm like having a meltdown just remembering it. And so then Chris takes a picture, and then I was like, okay, cool, this is over. And Chris walks over and tells Rob that he's covering Scout's entire face with his hand. So then they have us do it again, and Rich gets back into position, and then just gets closer while staring at me with like the most intensity I've ever seen. And I was like, I'm not gonna crack. And then I just smiled and looked down. I couldn't anymore. And then I had no idea what Scout and Rob were doing until I picked up the print. I'm assuming
we still don't know what they're doing.
I'm assuming everyone's seen it by now, but like
it's just, they're so far apart.
They're so far apart. I was like, what the I picked it up, and I think Tasha was next to me, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And I needed them to see it. Like, tweeted and tagged them in it. And then I asked Rob in auto, so I'm like, did you see it? And he's like, no, do you have it? Can I see it now? And I was like, I pulled out my phone. Rob immediately just takes the phone, zooms in, starts like panning back and forth, and he was like, oh my God. I was like, it looks like you're murdering each other. And he's like, it does. Like, he pans over and he's like, you and Rich look so sweet. And then I was like, I know. And then Billy's leaning over. He's like, what is it? I want to see. I show it to him, and he starts laughing. I told Rob it was my favorite op ever. So that was fun. I really want to get them to sign it because I want to know what Rich thinks of it.
Is there like a way to re-listen to is it Space Pirates? Is that what we call it?
Oh yeah, it's all archived.
Yes. Oh really?
Yeah, we've got over 100 different segments now. Yeah, no, it's impressive.
Oh, I didn't even know that, because I was like totally wanting to listen to like VegaaaasCon back, because like no one took videos of it, and like I have videos, but like I would post them on YouTube, but I'm just like screaming. So like, but yeah, there's like no like videos of SNS, and I really wanted those. So yeah, I guess.
Oh, of this year?
Yeah, of Vegas.
Oh, it might take them like Crispa's gonna get hers up, I'm sure.
Okay.
And then yeah, they'll come through. They're just recovering and uploading and editing and such.
Okay.
Cool. Because there's kind of a lag, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
We are just waiting for Julia to hop in.
Yeah, if you just go to if you go to Mixler and Space Pirates and then the show reel, that'll load everything in chronological order, descending. Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool. Because like that SNS, I don't know how I felt about like the Vegas SNS. Like, it was fun. The set list was a little funky. I was like, I thought Matt did so well, and I was so proud of him. Like, he was like, as he was walking by, like during SNS, like someone asked him where like his headphones and he was like, oh, I just took them off. He's like, I think I know my song. He's like, I'm so nervous. He's like, I feel like I'm gonna look over at the pit and everyone's gonna have their backs towards me. And I was like, oh no. And it was so good. And like Billy played so well, and I was like, oh my God, I love it so much more than the White Stripes song that they do. And like, he did awesome. Yeah, but I feel like they played it for so long, and I was so excited with the whole like set list change.
But I really love how well they like their song choice for Matt.
Yeah.
That lets him like tap into something that's like got an edge to it and plays better raw and really shines with his enthusiasm. So yeah, but there are so many new songs. Kim did a new song. Ruth did a new song. So yeah, has that always been the tradition that like Vegas, that's when they
switch it up?
They like, yeah,
I think it's just such a big con, and they have, I guess, more time to do stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Jensen came out with that Corey, the guy from Slipknot. I was like, this is so weird. And like everyone,
so weird.
Yeah, everyone in our pit was like freaking out, and I was like, I don't know who that is. And like I knew I obviously know Slipknot, but I was like, and like it was really funny. Everyone in pit was kind of like, okay, cool, but Jensen, and it was so funny. Like it was just, oh my god. And our side of the pit was like so like it was like all like J2M stands, so they like went crazy. And I've always been like pit with like a ton of Swainers, so it was really funny and like fun to be like with kind of like the opposite side of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, Pineapple. How did it feel to strike fear into the heart of Misha Collins?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, I just heard screams, like screeches around me, and I turned around and I was just face to face with a absolutely terrified Misha Collins.
Why did he walk through the pit?
I don't know.
Miscalculation.
Yes.
Immediate regret. I turned around, he was right there, and I was next to a group of very young, very drunk girls who just grabbed him immediately.
They were obnoxious assholes.
They were assholes.
And I heard that. I heard you guys like had problems with them, and you were like complaining. You were like, "Oh, I don't care about your pictures or whatever."
If I wasn't super fucking high and mellow, I would have fought somebody.
I had no idea.
She was a Jensen stan, and every time it was just a Swain song, she would start talking.
Oh, they were really bad about that on our side too.
A full like she's trying to talk.
This girl was the same one who was like, I got very badly bullied yesterday.
I think I might know who that is then.
No,
you absolutely do. Because who the fuck talks like that?
I was like, I'm trying to watch the show, and I was only as polite as I was.
She was Canadian, and yet,
and very
no hate was taken.
And I only put up with it so long because I was very.
She was trying to physically stand on you.
I just started pushing her, and then she started getting mad, and then I finally lost my shit, and I'm like, the song was ending, and I'm yelling at her. Straight up yelling at her, like, you need to take a fucking step back. And I look up, and Billy is like busying himself with things, but totally watching and listening to our conversation.
She was utterly without like any fucking respect for other human beings,
respect for other people around her. She was too drunk to be there. She was straight up too drunk to be there. And
I think she's just like that.
She is, but she was very drunk. And she looked like she was gonna straight up pass out at one point. Her friends, I think they were her friends, were like, maybe you should go sit down. And she was like, no. She's like, I'm just gonna sit down here. And she sat down on the floor. And I was like, at least you're not blocking people's view with your obnoxious bullshit if you're on the floor. And she was like, the rope was there, and someone from creation comes by and tells everyone, please don't lean forward. You'll block people's view, blah, 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 that whole thing. Don't grab the actors if they come to the pit. Literally say that to
Which is why they never do anymore, because people would do that. Rob would
and she did. She grabbed Rob.
They would grab and hold on like he couldn't leave, which is why he stopped doing it. On that, the nice creation people, because they were like spectacularly nice this entire time.
Oh, they were so nice this weekend.
Even when I got like in a fight with this woman, which, quickly recounting this, was just like, we had been in line for was it karaoke? Saturday Night Special karaoke? One of the two. But it was like several hours. And I went outside to smoke a cigarette. And granted, this is like, and I was like recounting this on my private account. So each time I described the distance going away, it was like slightly longer. It was like a 30-minute commute by camel. And the next time it was like a 90-minute commute by land and seafaring turtle. It was a long fucking walk. But it was 20 minutes tops out of several hours. Like, everyone's camped out. We're all doing this thing where we establish like mutual respect with each other because you don't want to fuck anyone over. And thankfully, none of the usual suspects were there, who are prone to fucking you over by inviting 40 of their friends and lying to you about it and sneaking people in and saying, I don't know what happened. Those people weren't there, so we were on good terms.
They were in the back. I kind of know who you're talking about. And they were all the way in the back, and I was shocked. I was like,
how pleasant. Because, like, it's not fucking hard to be like, hey, we have this many people, possibly this many coming. We're going to work together to make sure nobody is in a position where they can't see. Like, we're not going to be shitbags to each other. And we worked that out. But I'd gone to have a cigarette, and I came back, and this woman is like telling two of my friends, like, no, you literally can't leave to go to the bathroom. We don't hold spaces here.
Wow.
And
she just had a bone to pick with you, I think. She just wanted to
well, she can eat my entire ass because they'd switch sides of the hall for the line, as they often do, because like, you know, you got to do the most expedient thing to have people move in but not have people in the way, and you know, have tables set up to check bags and sets of things now. And I'd walked up like, hey, where's this going? Like, line's going around this whole other corner, and I'm joking about it, and she's like, this is the front of the line. And I'm like, no, I got that. And she's like, so you can go to the back. Like, no, I was here with these people, so I started to walk to join them. And she's like, where are you going? I'm like, to join my friend. She's like, no, you're going to go to the back. And I was like, no, though I'm not, because I was with these people. And she's like, we don't hold spaces. I was like, no, I think you'll find we absolutely do. And she was like, what? And I was like, I think you'll find yourself dead ass wrong. And she was like, excuse me? So I was like, I think you'll find yourself dead ass wrong.
She looked like the kind of woman who's used to asking for the manager a lot and not used to hearing the words, you are wrong.
Right.
And so she's like, you can go, you stand right here. And I said, well, sure thing. And she went and got Stephanie, who came up, and Stephanie asked what was wrong, because I mean, whatever Stephanie wants on any given day, it is bullshit, you know, like where people can manage themselves. So there's this whole protracted explanation where it turned out I was literally the only problem. And she was definitely telling people like, no, you can't hold spaces for friends and we don't get out of line here. And I was like, no, but you're wrong though.
What are you talking about?
And it turned out she was in fact wrong, and she was dismissed from that position for the rest of the evening, and I think the rest of the con, because fuck you.
Nice.
Like, maybe if like
we had a whole
10 fucking people are telling you like, no, we're cool, maybe you should sit the fuck down and listen.
Yeah, I was with your group during karaoke, and I was like, I think I was behind you guys in line, and like, you guys were super nice, and like you were like, oh, like everyone was like, oh, come join our group, and like it was like a kind of like you find your spot in karaoke, and it's like, all right, well, this is it. Like no one really throws that much of a fit. That's like embarrassing. Like you always
like, exactly like who is this a big deal ever? Because like, you know, there was somebody's parents, and they were gonna sit in GA, and I was gonna leave after 15 minutes, which I did. It takes so little to communicate like, hey, we're not here to fuck anybody over, so let's just all be civil. But
friend con for the win.
Yes, but apparently creation has experienced some decided changes of staff. Some people were missing this con, and that was noted in the overall atmosphere. Not quite the same usual suspects. Oops.
I thought all the creation staff that were present were very lovely.
Oh, they were great.
Super nice. I had even like, I was a complete shit to this woman at San Fran, because drunk Lua decided that like I was close enough to the barrier on one side and far enough back that I could get video, and she's like, no, you can't stand there. And I was like, but you shitbag, what if I could? Like, and I apologized to her for it. I was like, hey, that was out of line on my part. I crossed the line there. That wasn't on me. You're doing a job. I just felt really entitled to do this thing. I apologize for it. And she's like, hey, you didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. And it was like this whole, like, people were human beings at each other very briefly. It was very rewarding. I know, right? It was like, oh, that's cool then. And it was like utterly drama free. But I look forward to more of that, hopefully, with people just not being assholes needlessly.
Yeah. Nobody was on a power trip except for that one lady that you just spoke about.
Yeah,
she can get fucked. She was the worst.
Yeah, she can get super fucked. Oh, and I was informed that she was wrong.
Oh, good.
Like,
I'm glad somebody informed you of that.
Yeah, no, I hadn't been asking. But, it was after I'd apologized to that woman. I was like, hey, man, I was out of line for this thing. And she's like, oh, yeah, no, I just heard such and such got in a fight with you. I didn't know she had any idea, like, who I was, certainly not by name. She's like, oh yeah, no, I heard she just got in a fight with you and she was wrong. And I was like,
Can you
I
say
didn't
that
do
a
that,
little louder?
but in my head I did. I was like, that's what I thought I heard. But I was like, oh cool, thank you. Because not a shitbag, but Julia, tell us about FriendCon.
FriendCon was the best. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of cons under my belt, but like everybody was just so chill. I don't know if it was the weed or what, but we were
I somehow missed out on all of this.
Oh man, there were so many drugs. Anyway, we had a really good time, and I think just kicking it off with that bus tour was like the best thing I could have done. I almost didn't make it. That would have been
Pineapple
very
tell
tragic.
this story while I was outside smoking like a heathen?
I don't know. I think I might have been being rescued at the moment. But okay, so you didn't say anything about the bus tour?
I did not. I was going to maybe tap out and let you tell the bus adventure story.
Are you sure you shouldn't? We could end it on you both doing this, and we'll just close it down because it's been a hot minute longer than the hour we were anticipating. Or you could just
as usual.
Or you could just be, yeah.
Julia,
see, I would.
Story. I want to hear Julia tell the story.
Oh yeah, I'm a summarizer, and I think that you like to embellish on what we're saying. So,
okay, you tell the story, and I'll jump in.
Okay. Well, I had never been, other than like for the Swain show and the Station Break shows, I didn't ever have like a meet and greet-esque type of like interaction with these people, so I didn't know what to expect at all. And then we get on the bus and we're waiting for Rich, and I don't know if he was running late or if we were early or what was happening, but I was just like, what's going on? And then he gets there, and of course he's Richard Spade Jr., and he's amazing. And he proceeds to tell us like all about what we're doing. And then he conveniently leaves out the part where he tells us where we're going for lunch. We had no idea. But we were like, cool, let's roll with it. So then we get going. Were we doing the trivia game on the way there? I can't remember. Or was that just on the way back?
Yeah, in the morning he was like, I brought Supernatural Trivial Pursuit.
Like, sweet.
He talked a little bit about Gabriel's return and all of that. Yeah. And like he was super interested in our reaction and if we were surprised and if we had guessed it. And
he seemed kind of like anxious about it, like in a really cute way. He was just like, "Did you guys like it? Was it surprising?" Like, yeah, I like scared my family with like how much I was yelling and screaming.
He saw that everyone thought that it was Rob or Curtis, and he was saying, his hair looked dirty, so it was curlier, and he's like, even he wouldn't have recognized the back of his own head.
And he told the story that he then later told in one of the intros about how his mouth was actually like, I don't know if it was glued shut, he said, but
yeah.
And then everybody relished in it, and they enjoyed it a lot.
So that he didn't like swallow the prosthetics or whatever, I think.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was cool. We all cheered, I think, when he talked about. Did somebody's favorite character come back? Or I forget how he said it. But then, what happened after that? We just went right to the dam, right?
We went right to the dam. That took about an hour.
Wait, tell them about the Supernatural people.
Oh yeah. So when we got to the dam, we had to go through like a security line, and then Julia had a good moment in that security line. I don't know if she wants to tell it on radio.
Wait, when is this?
Never mind. I don't know if you want to do that. We're just going to gloss over what I just said. So we went through the security line thing.
Nothing happened. Go ahead.
Belt is all of it.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, shit, yeah. I'm the one who pointed that out to you.
I know. I didn't see it. You saw it.
I was like, over it.
Like, mental image. Click. Anyway. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Somebody saw Richard's face putting his belt back on, I believe. And that image was seared right in there.
We're trash. We're shameless fucking trash.
As though there were any other demographic here. All just fucking trash.
Listen, that was just the appetizer. We didn't even get to the meat of it yet.
Go on.
Oh, we're gonna
I'm
be
not
full
gonna be
trash.
able to. She's gonna be incapacitated if we keep talking about it. I saw her face on that elevator ride. She won't even be able to get a word out. That's not
The
happening.
supernatural people.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we get into this, like, it's one of those, like, snaking lines with the rope things, and we're walking through it, and Rich just stops.
Oh my
And
god, we had a
people are
photo op.
walking. Yeah, that was like a photo thing set up with a green backdrop where they would take a photo of you, and I was like, what is happening? They never put up our photo. I'm so mad. I don't know what they were gonna put. I don't know if they were gonna put the dam in the background.
Maybe a dam. You missed out.
I'm so irritated we didn't get our ridiculous dam photo, but
I don't think anybody did because we all were in the same group, so we just missed out on the whole photo thing. No big deal.
Anyway, so we're going through this, like, line, and Rich is just standing there talking to people, and then he decides to walk with us through the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be a person, and
I think I'm handling it pretty well at that point.
I thought we were being pretty, like, able, functional persons.
At one point, I'm just, like, completely ignoring the fact that he's there, and I'm, like, talking to Pineapple about how Taryn's, like, meeting up with us, and I'm just like, do you think she's at the hotel yet? And he's just standing there like, doo-doo-doo. This is weird.
We're such idiots.
We're dicks. Whatever.
He's standing there. We've paid an immense amount of money to interact with this man, and we're having a sidebar conversation about Taryn's travel because we're like, because there was, like, a natural like lull in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I was like, so anyway.
Yeah.
We're just trying. It was just such a struggle trying to exist near him.
Yeah. It was a lot.
We talked about New York because I think I don't know if he brought up the merch thing because I'm fixated on getting Kings of Con merch. And
I think you did bring it up.
Yeah. And I said, we just saw Rob in New York, and I was asking him about merch, and he's like, that's why I got a sudden text from Rob. Suddenly, like, we need to make more merch.
Guilt. That's his language. He understands that.
I just enjoy bringing it up to them. We're getting to it.
I thought you forgot.
I didn't forget.
Like, I was being efficient for you because I knew you were trying to sleep, but I want you to entertain me.
I really enjoy just, like, confronting Rob and Rich individually about the merch and then just letting them.
You've done that very artfully up to this point. You're just really
Rob's
getting
like,
in there.
Rob's like, oh, you talked to Rich about it? What did you say to Rich? And then Rich is like, so you talked to Rob? I'm going
Did you ask about the oven mitts?
What the fuck is the thing about the oven mitts?
Rob, I asked him what Kings of Con merch. He's like, oh, we could do like pot holders, and he did this.
Rob,
I was like,
why?
And I was like,
embarrassing.
Oh, we haven't told the story on radio, but yeah, he was like,
or to me, why?
I was like, or a t-shirt. T-shirt's
or
good
t-shirt. Or a
t-shirt.
Whose first thought is a fucking? Does he bake?
Because there's that scene where the band gives them like gifts for their wedding.
Yeah, the Vegas
pot
episode. Yeah, when they get married.
Okay.
I don't think I responded to the potholders thing with the level of enthusiasm that Rob wanted.
No, none of us did, I don't think.
And then when I talked to Rich, I was like, Rob said potholders, and I was like, or maybe a t-shirt.
Sure.
Aww,
so I'm just pitting them against each other. I brought it up to Rob individually.
Everyone bakes, Lua. No, they don't. Pineapple angry bakes, and she's the only person I know that bakes.
I bake reluctantly, because how else are you going to get fresh chocolate chip cookies? But anyway,
through anger.
So we're going
through the microwave.
Oh yeah, and he was like, so how were the Swain shows in New York? And he was asking us about that, and we were like, it was fantastic. And then I was like, they did Here Come the Snakes, and then Rich was like, what? And then we got to tell him about, he didn't know about the song, and I was like, so you know that movie Snakes on the Plane that came out like 15 years ago? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, Swain has a song on that album. And he was like, what? Like, he was so like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was just... It was so funny, and so we told him all about it. He was like, "Is it a good song?" And we were like, "It fucking is!" Like, Billy just goes nuts and shreds, and he was like bent over laughing when he was playing. Like, it was so good. And then we just sort of Julia, Rich, and I just talking about how fantastic Billy Moran is for an extended period of time.
It was like a while we talked about it.
Just fangirling over Billy with Rich was.
I bet he'd be so like bitterly satisfied to know that.
What?
Probably.
Billy would be so bitterly satisfied to know that.
I think at one point Rich was like, because we were talking about how he sang on Wagon Wheel. I was like, he did the verse you usually do, and it was really good. And then I think Rich said something like, he doesn't need to be even more talented. Like, he's already.
Because
I was like, I love this song.
Rich's kids love Billy more than they love him, and he's mad.
Oh my god!
He said so.
I remember this. Yeah, I remember this. He said that during an intro.
Corbett, can
Billy is a big kid.
This exists. It does exist. She's not.
Like I said, I mean, Saturday, I couldn't hear it, so I don't know.
It's.
No, that's not what we're talking about. Anyway,
it's happened. I'm gonna DM you about
in
this.
a previous intro. Anyway, what was I saying?
God damn it!
So we're going through and we're just chatting with him for a while, and at one point I'm like backed into a corner of like this rope thing, and Rich is just standing too close to me, and I'm like,
she's not okay at all.
The Schmelke move, very subtle. It's.
Like he's turned around.
Very subtle,
and I'm just back into a corner.
I'm so glad you understood what that was.
See, if you know Pineapple, you know it's just that she's slightly uncomfortable. But to somebody like outside of our friend group, they're like, "What is wrong with you?" She's just like very like.
It's adorable because it's not subtle. It's.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay.
Poor Pineapple.
And then
so cute,
they're
though.
trying to like the damn people are trying to sort out. There are many tour groups, and they're trying to sort out how they're going to get us all down the elevator because we're in the line for an elevator, and it was taking fucking forever, which we didn't mind because we're standing next to Rich, and they were trying to get all the people who weren't in our group to go to a different line. So they were like, "Can all the non-supernatural people please leave this line and come this way?" And I'm just like looking at Rich like, how do they know they're the non-supernatural people, and how do they know what a supernatural person is? That's a really weird thing to say to like normies. Like,
this is my favorite thing of the entire weekend is the moment of self-reflection that must have taken place at the Hoover Dam. Is like, am I a non-supernatural?
Like,
what
for
I
someone.
know.
Are they
And
all
there was a man who self-identified like, I'm not a supernatural person, and walked out of the line. And I was like, what does he think is happening? That we're a bunch of ghost hunters, like.
The dam is haunted, guys.
Yeah. We're here to salt and burn this.
And that happens every year at Vegas. Like, this is my third year at Vegas, which is why I'm like, you know, my heart was so set on this thing, even though I was trying not to be trash about it. So I'm eternally fucking grateful to the people that hosted me. But this is the one thing that I've, you know, gone to consistently, and it's like every time, because the Rio is so huge and they have such an immense venue for other industries and such, there's inevitably going to be 2 or 3 like giant ass businesses that you're going to have to get through to get to the end of the very last bit of desirable real estate to get to where we live. And so you're going to be walking along with all these people dressed business casual, and sure enough, every fucking year, every day, someone will stop you and be like, so you're here for the... And you go, yeah, I'm here for that. And they're like, so what is it? Is it like supernatural? Yeah, it's
a ghost.
They think we're like ghost enthusiasts.
They do. They
think it's like a John Edwards thing.
Like literally every year I've asked, like, so y'all like hunt ghosts or? Like, this year is it more of a vampire thing or like a spirit realm kind of thing? And I personally wasn't even sure by what means that differentiated. Like, I didn't know, are these classes? I have no fucking clue. And I was like, I don't. And he's like, so you're like ghost hunters. And I was like, I don't. I don't. I don't know.
I would just be like, I'm not going to correct you. It's fine.
I just made weird noises at him because I didn't know what to say. Like, nah, but we're not.
That was
Chad
encouraging.
Lindbergh, but that's not his fault. Like,
I missed Chad Lindbergh at this. I would have gone to his fucking panel.
Oh my god.
I would have dropped everything to go to his crazy ass panel.
Ghost
So
Adventure
good.
God, I wish they'd done the thing again where it was like
the
Chad
ghost tour.
Lindbergh. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because he's friends with the guys from Ghost Adventures, and
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with Ghost Adventures, and it was really bad and embarrassing, and I was like 12, and they all knew me on Twitter, and I was like,
that's gotta be like
she's in the ghost fandom.
yeah.
You're in the ghost fandom. So did you like hunt ghosts and shit?
No, but I like went to their locations, and I was like, oh yeah, and then like I found out that Chris and a couple other of like the Supernatural cast follows one of the guys from it, and I was like, oh my god. And apparently like Chad brought all of like the guys from Ghost Adventures to one of the Vegas cons because they live in Vegas, and I guess like they were like, what the hell is going on? And like on top of that, they were kind of interested in it. And so there's one of the guys named Aaron Goodwin, and I guess he used to come like every year, and then he stopped after a while. But I was like, dang it! I was so expecting to like see him, and I was like mad, but it's cool.
I mean, just the opposite side of that is last year with poor fucking Pineapple and Corbett sitting in on Chad Lindbergh's panel, not knowing what to do with Chad Lindbergh genuinely talking about the supernatural.
Oh yeah, it's
it
really
was amazing. So good. I enjoyed
had a lot of stuff to work with, like, ghosts passing over are not his responsibility, and he has to come to own that. And like,
people had very earnest questions.
Yeah, about like, how do I know when someone's crossed over, and like,
what do I like? What to do?
No, it was like they were on the tourism boards for their respective towns.
They really wanted him to come handle their ghost problem locally.
Is there ever really a ghost problem? Realistically.
I mean, he played a tape for us. It's
he did. Okay, he played a recording off his iPhone.
Static noise.
Okay, this fucking kills me. I had a neighbor do this the other day, and I was
okay. While you talk about Chad Lindbergh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I'll be right back.
Fine. I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit. Not about Chad Lindbergh. She's not here. I can do anything I want. My fucking neighbor did this the other day, and I felt like, first of all, he's a bit of an asocial dick in a way that's not entirely like sympathizable. Like, this man he adopted a dog, and it's a white dog, and it's a pit bull. It's this big old like fucking burly thing. It just barrels into shit. It's so excited about life, and he'll like groom this thing on you, and like, it's not very well trained, so it sees a person and it will piss as near to them as possible. And then he will groom them promptly thereafter, like on your person. It's very uncomfortable. He's not a social boundaries guy, is my point. And he sat down the other day in the fucking hipster patio back here, which is what I call the back patio, because it's like not worth explaining, but it's like people hung lights in the trees and shit. It's this really lovely place. But some of the tenants hang out there, and he came out there and he's like, so I was at work today and I had to go on a ghost hunt on my lunch break. And I was like, had to? Like, was my first reaction, like, was had to? And he's like, yeah, I was walking towards the bathroom and I felt a presence.
Oh no.
I was smoking a little bit of weed, and I was like, okay, well, there's your first clue. and he's like, yeah, and I heard some echoes, some EVP. And I did not question him on what he thought this stood for, because, spoiler, it's noises. And he works at a fucking catering business in LA, and the bathroom is in a parking garage.
Oh
So
my god.
he's on his break. He's smoking weed. He feels a presence.
So you're saying like the probability for being haunted is really, really high.
Yeah, you got it. So I was like, okay, I was trying, just stifling every possible response at the expense of even any plausible polite one. I was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, I got this EVP and I'm going to play it for you. And it was literally just like what the sound you might expect if you stood in a parking garage in LA. Like, you're probably going to hear somebody talking. And then he like showed me this picture of a blurry shot through a fence, and he was like, "There's an orb. Can you see the orb?"
Oh
and
no.
I was like, "I do see a shiny bit there. Light. It happens. Like you could almost say the entire visible world is full of it." Like I was a shitbag about it because like I just didn't know how else. What do you? Come on, man. You recorded some noises in a noisy place and you took a shitty picture. I don't know what to do for you. And I was a real shit about it. And that's along the same theme that I felt towards poor Chad Lindbergh. He's like, I'm gonna play you an EVP. Buddy, you recorded on your iPhone in an empty place with 6 other people.
But it said his name.
Oh.
I mean, who's to say it didn't? Chad.
No, Lindbergh. Actually, I can't remember if it was the whole thing.
I love Chad.
My cat is going to town right now.
It hurts
love
my
you,
brain. Oh, you have. Oh my god, you have a cat. This must be recorded with all other radio cats. This one is distinctly murder-free.
I have 4 cats.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, Steven.
Go get them.
Go get all of them.
All of them.
Sean, they're asking me to get all the cats.
All of them?
Yeah.
Get a couple if you want.
Yeah, bring just them one by one. Mom's chilling here. I call her Mom. Because she's a mom. She's really fat. You can't see.
Have you seen Paddington? Oh my god.
Little man. He's gigantic.
Wait, we have to see Mr. Julia. I meant Mr. Alicia. It was nuts.
Mr. Julia.
Yes. Oh.
Are
you gonna
cat or me?
You.
No, nobody's cat's called Mr. Julia.
We have a cat named Mr. though. That's why he's confused. Mr. and Miss. This is Miss.
We
don't have children.
Extremely excited right now.
Beautiful black cats.
There's a black cat. Are you gonna say hi?
Hi. Hello. I exist.
Appreciated. Begrudgingly as it is.
Yeah.
We like your wife a lot. We're keeping her.
No.
We'll fight you. There's more of us.
Did you hear her? Nope, he's gone.
Whoops, I didn't say anything.
Oh, he's getting the last cat.
He was sleeping.
Oh, I'm sorry, bud.
I'm not sorry.
This is Mister. Just like the other black.
He's very gaunt.
How do you tell them apart?
Having them for 10 years?
Yeah. Having them for 10 years, but also he's a little bit more skinny. He's like the male model cat.
Look at this. Look at this, like, this motherfucker right up in this frame, though. He's my favorite.
Yeah, she just doesn't give a shit.
Just cozy.
Mom doesn't give a shit, right?
No.
No.
Just
She's
staring
literally
right
on
at
her
the
back. Like, she does
doesn't
not
care.
No. She's just straight chilling.
The feet.
She's my homie.
And cat.
That cat's the best, right, Mama?
Oh, I just saw the time. I'm gonna have to go. I haven't done homework yet. So
fucking Pineapple's got a dip too. We were supposed to only do this for an hour. We never succeed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take off. It was so nice to talk to all of you.
Aww.
I'm told the customary parting is eat a dick. So.
Yes.
Thanks, Fran.
Bye.
Bye. I've been back. I've just been eating chips.
I did the same.
Did you see all my cats?
Aww. Yeah, I've been back for a couple minutes. I was like, I needed to pile food into my mouth. Sorry.
Because
I don't mean to chew into the microphone.
You're so beautiful. Sorry I had to get you all.
Don't apologize to those
Just
cats.
like lean on that guilt.
Sorry to the cats, though.
What?
I'm sorry to the cats.
Why were you sorry?
Well, I'm disturbed, mister.
Oh.
He was like in one of those infinite.
Just the curly Q. Yeah, you have the cinnamon bun.
He's so great.
Sorry.
Your cats. All right, it's cool. We should probably wrap up anyway. We've been talking long enough.
Yeah, we'll get to the racy stories eventually.
I mean, I'm just gonna congratulate us on managing to do this since New Year's.
Yeah.
And we should do the thing where we can play videos during the stream, because then
that's just a whole nother
obnoxious forever.
Yeah.
I think we should just finish the fucking story.
Okay. All right. Where are you at?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm a willing listener.
I just needed to pile some food into my mouth.
I was really busy with Julia's cats and Mr. Julia, so I don't even recall what I missed. Also, I met Mr. Alicia.
We called Mr. Alicia to his face, and he was like,
"No, I did the same," and he had the same reaction. And I felt no pity or shame.
No.
None at all.
Nice.
You like it, right?
I like it.
He likes it.
That did not sound at all.
That was a window into your relationship right there.
You like it,
no,
right?
I love it. I love it.
Bye, cat. Yeah, so the elevator.
Oh, right. Okay, so we were standing by this window, taking pictures, and finally the fucking elevator opens, and Rich and the tour guide are telling everyone to get in the elevator. It is a massive fucking, like, the size of a service elevator, and everyone is piling in. And I feel like I haven't told anyone this, but I have a fear of elevators. They make me deeply uncomfortable.
I don't think anyone really likes them. They're pretty.
When I was a kid, the only time I went in elevators was when I would go to the optometrist, and he was a very, very mean
Did he live
doctor.
in like a cave, like a subterranean cave? Sorry, that was my conclusion.
I mean, it was just a normal elevator, but like from the parking garage to go up, and that was the only time I would go in elevators.
That's much different than down.
It was the only time I ever went in one when I was little, so I have this panic reaction when I get into elevators now, especially
yeah,
like a
like
big service
30
one.
people
into the bowels of the earth.
The more people are in it, the worse it is. So I get really uncomfortable. So did they pack all of us in there? They couldn't have been.
It was all but like a handful of us. Yeah.
So he's just piling everybody in there, and I'm looking at it like, no. Like, I don't want to. Don't want to go into this elevator. And then finally everyone is in, and he looks at us, he's like, ladies. And I'm like, fine. So I get in, and Julia gets in, and I'm like, this isn't so bad. I didn't think Rich was also going to get in, but he sure did. He sure did.
Sure did.
He
got right on it.
You tell this part, I can't. He squeezes between us, like,
yeah,
like
this. It's very there. It's just not. There's no embellishment needed. It was just my thigh was on Richard Spate's behind, and I'm assuming his front was on Pineapple at some point. And for 70 seconds, we remained that way and pretended like everything was fine.
Our tour guide was like, this elevator down takes 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Like,
and
fantastic.
He's like, here, and he's looking at me, and I'm like,
looking anywhere but him.
Which is just supernatural in an elevator.
He's right here, and I'm just like,
you could.
He's really subtle, really
looking at me and smirking, and I'm like,
I was trying to actually figure out what kind of cologne he was wearing, because we were so close.
Him?
Like, he's not. No, well, you didn't really.
Because when you're that fucking close to someone, you just take it all in. It's just there, whether you like it or not.
It was so real.
Like, he's just here, and I'm like,
there were some bumps along that ride too, so that was something else. But
Julia was getting the business, whether she liked it or not.
I mean, Should you have tipped him
Was
for
I
that
giving or
lap dance?
getting? I can't remember. But yeah, so that wasn't awkward even in the slightest. At one point, I grasped Pineapple's hand because I just assumed she needed comfort.
Just think about how long 1 minute and 10 seconds is in a elevator in which someone is right up to you. And I have difficulty existing near him.
Just
as
anyway.
it is.
And I mean, there's no other reason that it could be more satisfactory if you're a prick in the loving way that Richard Spade Jr. is.
I think he knew exactly what he was doing, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I think he was like, I choose you. And he made that whole thing happen.
He had the option of not getting in the elevator.
Another phrasing commonly accepted is, you are fucked.
Right.
I actually think he had a little bit more space and didn't.
I think there was maybe a half a step that he had, but he chose not to take it.
So it was just a minute of.
My joy is so real.
I didn't.
I'm not one to like become dramatic about these things just generally, but it was a very dramatic, cinematic even experience.
I mean, did you even get to the part about the townsfolk of what's the fuck Arizona? We're gonna have to save that for another radio.
Yeah.
Part 2. That's a whole thing. Like the entire fucking town put on a play. It sounds like fan fiction. So I mean, that's a good like.
I do have photos. I forgot that I took photos, so I'll share them.
Please tweet these.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We should do just a bus tour radio.
Julia, what color is your nail polish? Bones is asking.
Oh, it looks like it's black, but it's really dark blue.
Answer provided.
Navy blue. What is funny about that? Nothing? Cool.
On that note, before marital bliss is disrupted, I'm gonna shut this off. God, I don't even feel bad that we went longer than intended because it's been so long.
Yeah, and plus my car broke down, so apologies.
Oh no.
We're good now. We're good now.
Okay. Stuck with us.
All right.
Okay. All right. Good night, fuckers. We're gonna look at doing a thing where we can play video during the broadcast, and all of you are so boned.
Oh, I can't wait! I'm so excited.
Eat a dick.